hot shit you proclaim. Let that sink in. I'm the unseen. Not the chart topper, not the mainstream dream. But when the dust settles, I'm still the supreme. Don't mistake my kindness for a sign of fear. I'm the storm in silence, the voice you hear. When the world turns cold and the lights grow dim, I'll be the fire that burns within. I'll be by your side when the night falls deep. Through the highs and lows, I'm the promise I keep. Not the loudest voice, but I always win. They call me hot shit. Let the truth sink in. Every battle fought, every scar I wear, proof that I've been there, proof that I care. Not for the glory, not for the fame, but for the souls who know my name. When the world forgets and the crowds move on, I'll be the rhythm, the steady song, whispering in chaos, a hand to hold. My kindness is power, my story untold. I'll be by your side when the night falls deep. Through the highs and lows, I'm the promise I keep. Not the loudest voice, but I always win. They call me hot shit. Let the truth sink in. I'll be by your side when the night falls deep. Through the hard and lows, I'm the promise I keep. Not the loudest voice, but I always win. They call me hot shit. Let the truth sink in.
Hi, Precious.
And you're wrong, by the way. It's not Skid Row.
I know it ain't.
Who is it?
Tabitha. Hi. She's hi.
Yeah,
Mama loves you.
I love you.
You do? I love you more.
I love you even more.
You think so?
Yeah,
I think you're beautiful.
Almost.
I think you're beautiful.
You're precious.
It's a ballast tape.
And you're my girl. It's Cinderella. Oh, here I'm talking. Here the F I'm talking. What is up? What is up? I can't when I'm muted. Hi, good morning, good morning, good morning. If I do this, you don't hear nothing, I'm muted. Okay, I had to show my baby Tabitha. Okay, you guys, now this is gonna be like real sad subject matter here, but Let's do our best here. Let me show you guys this. If you guys don't laugh, I don't know what you're doing here with me. Okay? The Holy Spirit is speaking through me. I made this yesterday. I'm so stupid, but I love it. I love it. All right. All right, guys, come on. Fire in the chat. Fire in the chat. Come on, guys. Fire in the chat. What the hell's going on around here? All right. Let me put this up here. All right, this demon from Florida will be executed. And let's read what the governor says. And this is baby Gabrielle. Hanshaw. God, I don't know. She's 5 months old. Of course, I start copying. My God. All right, let's take this pretty baby down. Anybody, anything done to a child, I don't care. You should go directly to death row. Okay? All right? All right. What am I showing now? Okay, I didn't want to do it like this, but whatever. So here he is. He is at the Florida State Prison right now, and he got convicted on 4/4/1997 for first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, and it wasn't his kid; it was his girlfriend's. Here we go. See what the governor has to say. This is the most updated thing. That's why I'm doing that. It's really hard to find anything about like the trial. All right. This is to the warden. Execution date. The death warrant that I signed to carry out the sentence for Andrew Richard Lukehart. Did I say Lockhart? I meant Lukehart. As well as certified copies of his judgment and sentence. I have designated the week beginning at 12 noon on Tuesday, June 2nd through noon on Tuesday, June 9th for the execution. I have been advised that you have set the date and time for Tuesday, June 2nd, 6 p.m. Florida's getting done. Florida is getting it done. The letter is incorporated into into and made a part of the death warrant identified above. Governor Ron DeSantis. Sorry. So, CC to all these people. CC. And here it says he's at Union. Oh, okay. What does this say here? Okay, here we go. This is from, Dear Governor, on February 25th, 1996, while on probation for felony child abuse. What? He was on probation? Okay. Andrew Lukehart inflicted 5 blows to 5-month-old Gabrielle Hanshaw's head, fracturing her skull and unaliving her. He then threw the infant's body in a pond. Lukehart testified that Gabrielle would not lay flat as he attempted to change her diaper, so he forcefully and repeatedly pushed her head and her neck to the floor. Previously, he told law enforcement that he dropped Gabrielle on her head, shook her, and panicked when the infant died, and he threw her body in the pond. Lukehart was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death. He said the baby was kidnapped. That's what he said. So we're not going to read all this here. Okay? We're not going to read that. Okay. The record has been reviewed, and there are no stays of execution issued by any court by competent jurisdiction in this cause. Based upon the above record summary of litigation affirming the judgment and sentence of death imposed to a first degree murder, the record is legally sufficient to support the issue of a death warrant. That's from the Attorney General. What's all this? Okay, so this was filed April 4th, 1997. God. Okay, here, I want to know the child that he was on felony for child abuse. I mean, why would you want him around your kid? Did the mama know? Not saying the mama did anything. Okay, I'm just saying. Things are different now, though. We can look up anybody. Okay, there's his fingerprints. All right. Court cost $200. Come on now. Oh my God, look at this. Death by electrocution. They don't do that no more. All right. Let's see. Anything else? All right. He was convicted by a grand jury of a vote from 9-3 that the defendant should be sentenced to death in an electric chair. A second sentencing hearing was held March 26, 1997, in which counsel for both the state and defense presented arguments. This court then passed the case until April 4th, 1997 for sentencing. Where am I? The court, having heard the evidence presented during the penalty phase and sentencing hearing and having reviewed, can you guys hear me? Having reviewed the memorandums present by both the state and defense and having heard by both the assistant state attorney who favored the imposition of death and the counsel for the defendant who favored life. Well, yeah. Aggravating factors. Let me look in StreamYard. Oh, look who's here. Look who's here. Hey, woman. Hi, Carolyn Cooper. Appreciate you guys being here. We got a new Florida execution. Florida ain't playing no more. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Anything to do with children, let's get her done. I want to show you guys something. Oh my gosh. I'm going to show you something, Amber, I got. And I didn't even realize it. Hold on. I gotta be careful what I present here because I don't want my name on it. Because I want no people coming for me because people are weird. I don't mean coming for me. It's just people are weird and want to harm you. Okay? And I don't want to be harmed. Okay? Okay. I found it. There we go. Is everything? There we go. We're good. We're good. I'm going to put it on the screen. Hold up. Hold up, people. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Okay. I'm getting the runaround on some things, and I'll show you that too. Oh, I'll show this first. So I'm getting the runaround from Palm Beach, and then it went to I don't know, it starts with a V in Florida. And now finally, Orange County. Orange City, Florida. Come on. They better get on it. This body cam footage for a big YouTuber, okay? But they've been digging me around. I don't mean to say it like that, but they have. It's like, which one of you, when I know the report's right, okay? When I know that I did it the right way, but obviously they don't want to handle it. I don't know. Okay. And it's from 2019, so that's interesting. Here we go. This is a high profile, okay, inmate, somebody we know. Okay, Amber went in with somebody with me. I paid $167 for body cam footage. Okay, I noticed here because I keep checking when are they going to um, give me the body cam footage, right? But there's 7 videos. May 12th says right here, due date May 12th. So now we know. Now we know. Let me tell you something. It better be good body cam footage for that freaking much money. Okay, let's continue. Said I give an update. Aggravating factors. The defendant in committing the crime for which he is to be sentenced was engaged in the commission or attempt to commit a crime of aggravated child abuse. The defendant was convicted of child abuse, aggravated child abuse, in addition to the first degree murder. The evidence clearly shows that the 5-month-old Gabrielle Hanshaw, let's not forget her name, Gabrielle Hanshaw, died as a result of numerous blows to the head. The medical examiner testified that the child suffered at least 5 separate blows to her head. Oh, God. Which were the cause of her death. The conviction was proven beyond a reasonable doubt. The victim of the capital felony was a person less than 12 years old. The legislature enacting this aggravator clearly felt if the victim was under the age of 12, the death of a child would indicate a separate aggravator. Okay, and then they talk about Florida statute defines a child as any person under the age of 18. The defendant was charged with aggravated child abuse under the Florida statute, and it was specifically, I can never get that word right, alleged in the indictment that the defendant committed aggravated battery on a child, inflicting blood trauma to the head of Gabrielle Hanshaw. It is obvious that aggravated abuse, child abuse, includes a person under the age of 18. It is obvious that the aggravating factor applies to this case in the age of the victim that's 5 months old. There is no ability to resist the abuse she received at the hands of the defendant. The aggravator was proven beyond a reasonable doubt. That's right. Capital felony was committed by a person previously convicted of a felony on probation. At the time the crime was committed, I'm going to have to look at this. The defendant was previously been convicted of child abuse on September 2nd, 1994. The defendant pled guilty. It was in Duval County, by the way. Child abuse, adjudicated guilty, and was sentenced to 4 years probation. Oh, that's it? And he was on probation at the time of commission of the crime for which he is currently being sentenced. The defendant was previously convicted of a felony involving use or the threat of violence to another person. The defendant was previously convicted of child abuse of an 8-month-old. Come on now. Come on now. Oh my God, you guys, come on. The child's name is Julian French, the daughter of the woman who the defendant was living with in 1994. The child suffered numerous injuries, including broken ribs, retinal hemorrhages, and trauma to the head. However, it was clear to the court that aggravating 3 or 4 merged and is treated by the court as one aggravator. Are you kidding me? I'm mad. I'm very upset. What is going on here? He already did this to a baby, 8-month-old. Look what he did to that 8-month-old. Let me come into chat. What do you guys feel? What's her name? Jillian French? Oh my God. I hope she's okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Hold on a minute. I'm going to look to see if that baby's okay. I know it's been 20 plus years, but I don't care. Oh, Julian. I hope she's okay, guys. Oh, her name pops right up. Is she an author? No. Julian Front, she's a girl that was there's another one that was she was a missing woman and her body was discovered in a car a year after she was wow. She disappeared. Where's everybody? Fire in the chat. Okay, let's see what's going on with this baby. Okay. All right. I can't find nothing, but I'm going to look. I'm not going to reach out to the person or the mom. I don't do anything like that. Okay. Well, I do reach out to inmates if I have questions. Yes, I do. And if you don't like it, get the hell out of here. I only see that to be funny because people had a problem that I reached out to Wade Wilson and they thought it was a big secret. They thought it was a big secret, and it wasn't a big fucking secret. It was three. It was three emails. That's it. Plain and simple. And I showed everybody. That's what's funny about it. All right, let's continue. This is so sad. No one got their hands on him. Statutory mitigating factors. The age of the defendant at the time of the crime. The defendant was 22 years of age. Who cares? At the time of the unaliving of the victim on February 25th, 1996, Dr. Harry Krupp, a renowned forensic psychologist, testified that the defendant's maturity level was less than his actual age. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? What about the baby? Doctor. At the time of the crime, the defendant was living with the victim's mother and the victim and was working and supporting himself. According to the pre-sentence investigation, he had, for all intents and purposes, hey, Dr. Henny, I'm going to find you. I'm going to find this doctor right here. Hold on a minute. Oops. I want to see how he feels about this. How does he feel? Gosh. Hey. He's a doctor, guys. We're going to find him. I am. Oh, shoot. I will later. Never mind. All right. Where are we? According to the pre-sentence investigation, he had, for all intents and purposes, been supporting himself for a number of years, according to, or prior to the commission of the crime. The court has considered the defendant's age at the time of the commission and gave it some weight, people. Gave it some weight. The capacity of the defendant to appreciate the criminality of his conduct or to confirm his conduct to the requirements of the law. Okay? Dr. Harry testified during the penalty phase proceeding. Oh, okay. Hold on. Never mind. Okay. Dr. Harry testified during the penalty proceedings as to the evaluation of the defendant. Dr. Harry indicated that he evaluated, you guys know what I'm saying. Evaluated. There we go. The defendant in 1994, when he was charged with the other child abuse case, and found him competent to proceed and sane at the time of the commission of the crime. But Dr. Harry did indicate that the defendant was in need of some inpatient treatment at the time to control his anger problems. What? He further testified that the defendant needed to address his own past history of, okay, we get an idea what that is. Dr. Harry saw the defendant, Lukehart, again in 1997. In the present case, and once again found the defendant competent to proceed and sane at the time. How do you feel about this, Dr. Harry? How do you feel? I think you better go get some more education. All right. Dr. Harry indicated that he reviewed prior school records of the defendant and indicated that during the school year, the school authorities had indicated that he needed counseling. In addition, he considered the defendant to be seriously disturbed. Well, yeah, if you could do that to a baby, partly as a result of growing up in a dysfunctional family. We all, well, I'm saying, I have a dysfunctional family. You don't see me out there harming people. Dr. Harry ultimately offered the following options. One, defendant suffers from intermittent explosive disorder. What the hell is that? Two, that he suffers from substance abuse as a result of consumption of alcohol over the years. Three, that he suffers from post-traumatic stress. And four, the dependent has personality disorder. Oh my God, what more are you going to give him, doctor? Which Dr. Harry describes as being antisocial with destructive. Oh my God, look at all the labels he's given this guy with destructive behavior. You didn't do that prior, though, did you? The court, having considered the testimony of Dr. Harry as well as family members, as a beginning. Oh God, I can't say that word. You guys, please help me. Mitigating factors. Sorry, I give some weight. I totally forgot what I was reading. It's so weird what happens to me. 3. Any aspect of the defendant's character or record or other circumstances of the offense which include non-statutory. Let me get yours. A. Alcoholic father. I got one too. The defendant grew up in a dysfunctional family in which the record is clear that the defendant's father was a confirmed alcoholic for a number of years, and the father testified that during the time he was attempting to get his life straightened out, he had very little spent time with the defendant. Father also testified again on occasion that he physically abused the defendant. The court has considered some weight to these factors. B. The defendant's drug and alcohol abuse. The defendant has a history of abusing alcohol and drugs. However, there's no evidence or testimony that his use of drugs or alcohol impaired his ability to know the difference between right and wrong. The court has considered this mitigating factor and and given it some weight. C. The defendant blank, who is presently serving a term in prison for the offense at the age of blank. The defendant was blank. Why are they blanking that out? Redacting that? That is so weird. Well, whatever. Further testimony from a cousin indicated that the defendant was very depressed as a result of abuse and threatened to off himself. The court has considered and given it some weight, people. D. The defendant was employed at a truck stop in Baldwin at the time of the commission of the crime. The court assigned some weight to the fact that he was employed at the time of the commission of the crime. The court has carefully considered weighed in the aggravating, mitigating circumstances found to exist in this case. Boy, they use some big words. Mindful that the human life is at stake. Yeah, 2 babies. The court has given the recommendations of the jury great weight and finds, as did the jury, that the aggravating circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt outweigh mitigating circumstances established by the evidence. Accordingly, ordered and adjudicated that Andrew Richard Lukehart is submitted sentence to death for the murder of Gabrielle Hanshaw. The defendant is hereby committed to custody of the Department of Corrections in the state of Florida for execution. May God have mercy on his soul. That's interesting. And that was signed April 1997 by Judge William Wilkes. I wonder if this doctor's still alive. Let me look. Hold on. Everybody okay? Everybody okay? Doing okay? What's his name again? Harry. Dr. Harry. So they say he's an expert witness profiler. He's been on court TV. Well, okay. Okay, let's go to court TV real quick. He's still alive, guys. He's been on court TV. We're going to have to watch it. So he was the court case, Florida versus Danny Rawlings, the Gainesville Riper trial. Okay. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, why isn't this bigger? Sorry, guys. Should have told me. Thank you for being here. Thank you. I appreciate you. Please hit the like. All right, let's continue. We're almost done. Let's see. I found the doctor, though. Here's a death warrant. State of Florida. Whereas Andrew Richard Lukehart, on or about the 25th of February, murdered Gabrielle Hanshaw. On the 27th day of February 1997, was convicted of first-degree murder. And on the 4th day of April 1997, he was sentenced to death for the murder of Gabrielle Hanshaw. Whereas September 28, 2000, the Supreme Court of Florida affirmed the conviction and death sentence of Andrew Richard Lukehart. And on June 23, 2011, Supreme Court affirmed that the trial order denying Andrew Richard Lukehart initial motion for post-conviction relief and denied his petition for what is that? Habeas corpus? I always get it wrong. Then April 28, 2020, the United States District Court for the Middle District of Florida denied. Okay, it was denied. September 26, 2022, the United States Court of Appeals for the 11th Court affirmed and denied him once again. Whereas further post-conviction motions and petitions filed for Andrew Lukehart has been denied. Executive clemency for Andrew Lukehart has been denied. It's not appropriate. That's what they say. There you go, guys. There you go. Is there any more? Here we go. What's this? So, there we go. There's a seal from the governor, the badass governor out there in Florida. It's a good one. All right. Let's look at this doctor. How does he feel? Let's look at this expert. Where's he at? I want to watch the whole thing. I want to know. Okay, hold on. Let's find the doctor. Hold on. We're going to find the doctor. I just want to see what this guy looks like. Here he is. Yeah. Look at your dumb ass. Sorry, guys.
Dr. Kropp, after having interviewed Mr. Rowling for approximately 22 hours, reviewed depositions, police reports, psychological, psychiatric records, evaluations, reviewed psychological tests, talked and interviewed various individuals, have you formed any diagnosis or opinion concerning Mr. Danny Harold Rowling in regards to any emotional or mental disorders?
Yes, I have.
First of all, let me ask you, what is the purpose of a psychiatric or psychological diagnosis?
There he is.
diagnosis is primarily a classification system that's used primarily for communication, primarily between or among professionals so that they can communicate about an individual with regard to certain categories or classifications. And it's also used for the purpose of trying.
Who we got here, this is Dr. Harry Crow. Okay? He's a doctor that testified that poor Andrew. Okay? I wonder how he feels now.
To establish particular treatment programs. So it's used for communication and planning purposes.
Can you now give us the diagnoses you have arrived at regarding Mr. Rowling?
Based on my entire evaluation, it's my opinion that Danny Rowling is a seriously disturbed, emotionally disturbed individual who actually has a number of diagnoses. The diagnostic categories that he falls in are both at what we call Access 1 and Access 2. The diagnostic system that is used by almost all psychologists and psychiatrists is what we call multi-axial. That is, on Access 1, it has a diagnosis.
Okay, we're going to listen to what he diagnoses this guy. Okay, he's such an expert. I'm going to read your comment. Well, he needs to shave off. Yeah, you're going to show up to court, get it together. Okay? Okay. All right, we're just going to listen to a tiny bit. They have him on the stand for an hour and 36 minutes. No, we're not doing that. I need to find out what this guy did. Not this guy, but the guy that's on trial here. The Gainesville.
Which is typically a diagnosis that is based on his current emotional status, and then the Access 2 diagnoses are those that have been pretty much enduring from childhood. The only exception to what I'm saying on Access 1 is some of the sexual disorders, which also have their beginnings in childhood. So essentially what I'm saying about Danny is all of the diagnostic categories that I've assigned to him are those that most likely began sometime during childhood and adolescence. I've diagnosed him with 3 general categories of diagnoses. The first types of diagnoses that I've given him are what we call personality disorders. And if I can explain that a little bit, everybody has personality traits. We all are somewhat, some of are more compulsive than other people, some are neater than other people, some tend to be, some get more frustrated than others, but we all have certain personality traits, and that's normal. It's when these personality traits, which consists of the way we look at things, the way we think about these things, and the way we relate to the environment. When those traits are exhibited in a manner in which we consider inflexible or maladaptive or cause distress or hurt in some way to the environment or to ourselves, then it's called a personality disorder. So obviously, everybody has personalities. It becomes a personality disorder. That is, it becomes diagnostic when these traits are maladaptive or inflexible, and they create distress either for you or someone else in the environment. Danny his diagnostic profile consists of a number of different personality characteristics, which I would consider maladaptive and actually are diagnostic. They all, however, all the personality disorders that he exhibits are under the same type of category, the category or the cluster which we see as the more emotionally unstable type of individual. The first type of diagnosis that I gave him is what we call a borderline personality disorder. The second type of diagnosis that I gave him is what we call an antisocial personality disorder.
Here we go. Here we go.
And then the third type of diagnosis is what we call a personality disorder not otherwise specified. By that I mean that there are a number of maladaptive personality traits that exist within Danny Rolling, but they can't be categorized enough, or they don't meet all the criteria to actually reach a diagnosis. So we know they're maladaptive, they create problems for the individual, but they cannot be.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. Sorry, guys. I'm telling you, people that man, okay, get 4 months of, or 4 years instead of doing prison time. And look at, killed a baby. Okay, let's see what Danny Rollins did. Let me tell you, they made a lot of stuff about him. Let's go to A&E did stuff on him. Criminal Minds. Holy crap. He's a serial killer who inspired the show Scream. Really? I did not know that. Let's looky. It's a Florida case. Of course. The serial killer who inspired Scream terrorized my college town for 35 years ago and left me terrified to sleep. So he unalived these people with the bats, obviously. In August 1990, 5 students, 4 females, 1 male, were unalived by a serial killer in Gainesville, Florida, home of the University of Florida. Sorry. The killer, who was also responsible for a triple homicide in Louisiana, would later become known as the Gainesville Ripper. The events inspired 1996 horror movie Scream. In 1990, when my roommate Stephanie called me on the phone sobbing, it was Tuesday, shortly before the start of fall semester at the University of Florida in Gainesville. And I was sitting in my office at the Independent Florida, what is that, Alligator? UF Students Run newspaper, working on the latest issue of the Applause Entertainment section, which I edited. At first, Stephanie could barely get any words out, but I had a sneaking stomach-churning feeling. I knew why she was calling. Over the course of the previous week, a serial killer had been terrorizing our college town. He unalived 5 students, 4 female, 1 male, breaking into their apartments, arring the women, and stabbing them to death. He posed their bodies. Was he trying to be like a what's his name? Ted Bundy? He posed their bodies after unaliving them in a horrific, gruesome twist. He decapitated one of his victims and placed her head on a mantle. Oh my God! News of the murders traveled quickly and somewhat inaccurately. At one point, my friends and I thought he decapitated all of his victims and put their heads on a display in their living room. What? The devil in Gainesville. He didn't, but the truth didn't offer any consolation. Why isn't this guy on death row? It felt like we were living in a real life. Maybe he did. Hold on, I'll have to look. I felt like we were living in a real horror movie. And the fact that the murder spree of the Gainesville Ripper, whatever, as he would later come to be known, eventually launched books, documentaries, movies, and inspired Kevin Williamson to write 1996. Oh my God. Look at this, guys. Inspired by what he did, 1996 film Scream, making matters more terrifying than any Nightmare on Elm Street was the fact that he killed 5 victims and young college students like Stephanie and me, and they lived in the part of Gainesville where we lived. Hi, Rhonda. He is deranged. The 4 female victims. Oh my God. So it was one house. You know what? I think I remember this. I think I remember this. Or I remember it from watching something. I think. The 4 female roommates, Sonia, 18, Christina, 17, Krista, 18, Tracy, 23, were all white. Why are they saying that? White brunettes. Okay. The fifth victim was Manny, 23. He was Paul's roommate, and he had to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. See, I've heard of this case. At home sleeping in his own bed at the wrong time. Stephanie and I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in a secluded 1-story duplex adjacent to the heavily wooded area, although the 5 murders happened over a course of 4 days. Oh, just a course of 4 days. Holy crap. Gainesville would be on high alert for weeks. Every time I came home, whether it was daytime or night, I was terrified the killer. I would move, okay? Might be lurking in a dark behind our apartment waiting to strike. Or maybe he'll be living right next door. We didn't really know our neighbors. In such a fraught times, extreme fear and trust can become mutually exclusive. What was this? Oh, July 2025. Okay, I'm just checking. Stephanie's tearful phone call came the day police revealed the identities of the last 2 victims, Paul's and Tabuda. It was the first time we'd spoken all day, and I knew she wouldn't have called me at work unless it was something more personal than the latest death report. She managed to stop crying and get some words out. She says, Jeremy, I knew one of the girls, she said, before bursting into tears again. We had classes together. We were friends. What do you guys think of this? Sorry, I gotta take a drink. That's a lot of reading for me. A lot of reading. Hold up. Sorry. Gotta take a drink. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Oh, gosh. Any comments, anybody?
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
That's right. That's what you all get. I don't know what you people are doing. That's what you all get. That's right. Let's continue. After days of uncertainty and fear, it sounded like Stephanie had reached her breaking point, and I wasn't far behind. She said her mother, who lived. Hold on. Phone's doing weird shit. She said her mother, who lived in Gainesville but outside the killer's apparent zone of interest, was insisting that we spend the night at her place and stay there until the police caught the monster responsible for the murders. I spent 1 or 2 nights in a guest bedroom, but I didn't sleep at all. I could only think about my peers who had lost their lives in a grisly way. Yeah, that's sick. Oh my God, look at all this. This is a lot to read. I didn't feel particularly safe at Stephanie's mother's house. There was probably slightly more safety in numbers, but that didn't mean the killer couldn't strike. During the long Labor Day weekend that followed, I would get a brief reprieve from being constantly on guard and terrified. My friend Alex's alternative rock band, Henrietta's Lovers, was playing at a party and Tulane University, and he invited me to join the road trip to New Orleans. Uh oh. That's where Rollins went. And you underlive somebody there. Prepare yourself, Amber. We're talking about Louisiana now. We had a great time, but we felt like a dark cloud was hanging over our heads the entire time. After a few days, I knew we'd have to return home, and I'd love to face increasingly darker fears. Late Saturday night, when the guys dropped me off at the apartment, the band bassist asked if I wanted to crash at his fraternity house for safety numbers. I didn't want to be like the doomed kid in horror stories who runs upstairs instead of outside, but I declined. I couldn't let fear control my life. Stephanie was still staying with her mom, so I'd spend the night alone in our apartment in the middle of the danger zone. How did they find him? At this point, the police have released a sketch of the suspected serial killer. It was one of those police sketches that could basically be anybody, but the anonymous face still etched itself in my brain. That night, every time I closed my eyes, I saw it. When I opened my eyes and looked out the window, it was staring at me in the dark of the other side. This person must be write books. I had another sleepless night. If I started doze off, I was jolted awake by the anonymous frightening face. Eventually, Stephanie returned home and things slowly went back to normal in Gainesville. The police would arrest and release two suspects, oh wow, before finally arresting Danny Rollins and Shreveport, Louisiana. Okay? Native. Oh, he's from there. Who would later confess to the triple homicide in his hometown, Amber. Amber. A triple homicide out there. Holy crap. Have you heard of that, Amber? So what did he do? In his hometown and shooting his own father. What? What, you guys? You guys, he shot his dad. Whoa. By this time, he went to trial in 1994 and was convicted and sentenced for the death of 5 Gainesville students. I had already graduated, moved to New York City. He was executed by he's dead. By lethal injection on October 2006, just 1 month after I left New York City. Moved from wherever that is. Okay. Wow. Okay. So 1994 was his trial, and he was executed in 2006. 94, 2004. They shouldn't have wasted any time with him. It was in Sherview, I think. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Shreveport, Louisiana. That's what's up. That's what happened. Oh my God. How could somebody do that? I don't understand. Okay, no. I just want to know what happened to that guy. Or, look at this. I'm not reading all that. I want to know who wrote this. I want to know who she is. Does it say? We will find out. Jeremy Hilliger? Bye? No, it can't be. I don't know. It had to be girl. It's not a guy. She wants to be anonymous, I think. I think I would too. Okay, I'm going to see what she says here at the end. It's an understanding. I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Knowing what it's like to fear for your life is about to be snatched away from you by the devil when you have so much of it left to live. She's got to be a writer. Isn't that interesting? Okay, the guy's gone. Okay, let's... I'll probably get a copyright for this. I'm so sick of it. Serial killer Danny told psychologists that his homicidal impulses were a direct result of his upbringing. His father, as well as regarded police officer. His dad was a cop, Amber. His dad was a cop. This is an interesting case. It's a gross case. Okay, here is Dr. Harry.
Danny had a need to control. You could trace that back to his family circumstances. The family was very dysfunctional. He felt like he had no control in the family, that it was the father who was extremely authoritative, physical at times. He described his father as being sadistic in his nature. Danny's father was a hero in a small town, being in law enforcement. He was the good guys and he brought the bad guys in for punishment. And yet his father, he could not control his son. So that led to extreme conflict.
Isn't that interesting, you guys? His dad was a cop. And you know what? I had a horrible upbringing, okay? I've been told by many doctors that my life could be a Lifetime movie. I've been told I should write books. My new doctor thinks that I should record things. I'm like, no. That's creepy as hell. Have a father that's a cop. Yeah. Because his dad was mean to him. Okay? So let's do this. Jesus. Remember, we're focusing on also the doctor.
With Danny and his father. I know his father was very easy to use corporal punishment on Danny, even as he got older, which the father felt possibly would get Danny under control, although it had the opposite effect. And the father and Danny started becoming more and more estranged as he started not only engaging in some of these voyeuristic acts, but also involved in other criminal activities, which resulted in his arrest, which of course, his father being a law enforcement officer, that was very, very difficult for him to accept. He says the violence was just out of incredible anger that he was carrying around with him from these different factors.
That's the weapon he used? That is the weapon?
His relationship with his father. So you had a very bad combination of a neglectful family, feeling like you weren't part of this family, trying to fantasize that you were part of another family. He had a lot of anger, and sadly, he took it out on other people.
Jesus. Well, that's quite the crazy case. Here, I want to look up the doctor, and I found oh, I just want to show this real quick. This news station talk about this guy that took the life of Gabrielle, the 5-month-old. Hanshaw, hold on. Because they talk about.
Governor Ron DeSantis signed a death warrant today for a Jacksonville man convicted of killing a 5-month-old baby and throwing her body into a pond.
Andrew Lukehart was arrested back in 1996 and is scheduled to be the 8th person executed in Florida this year. News4Jax anchor Tarek Miner is here after looking through our archive coverage of this case, Tarek.
And, this was a story that no one really could believe when it happened here in Jacksonville back in 1996. A man who killed a 5-month-old baby while changing her diaper.
Jesus.
Did you kill the baby, Mr. Lukehart?
It's a question everyone in Jacksonville was asking, up until the arrest of 22-year-old Andrew Lukehart, who initially reported 5-month-old Gabrielle Hanshaw missing to authorities. The toddler was his girlfriend's daughter, and according to police, while changing the baby's diaper, she wouldn't lie flat, so Lukehart forcefully and repeatedly pushed her head and neck to the floor. 30 minutes after the crime, Lukehart reported the child missing.
Okay, what's going on here?
Claiming he was following a suspect in his car. Police weren't buying that story for long. Using helicopters and divers, police searched for the body in a pond, up until Lukehart led detectives to this wooded area off Chafee Road. Lukehart would later admit that he killed his girlfriend's daughter, taking the stand in his own defense during the trial. He told jurors he struck the child with such force, the baby stopped breathing.
I got scared.
and I started to panic, and I ran
Why would you take
outside and threw the diaper away and jumped in the car and started up and left. I felt bad. I felt guilty.
The jury deliberated for only an hour and a half before finding Lukehart guilty.
By a vote of 9-3, advise and recommend to the court that it impose the death penalty upon Andrew Richard Lukehart.
There was no emotion from him in the court, but hysteria from his family as his mother ran out of the courtroom screaming.
Do you want the death penalty for Andrew Lukehart?
Yes.
Why is that?
He killed my baby.
Anything you'd like to say about this verdict? What about the next phase? Are you worried about getting the death penalty?
Nope. No, I'm not scared.
Why not?
I'm right with God, that's why.
Lukehart's execution date is scheduled for June the 2nd at 6 p.m. at Florida State Prison in Rayford. It would be the 9th death warrant signed by the governor.
There we go. There we go. Yeah. I mean, come on. Yeah, it is. Yep. Hold on a minute. Something just, I gotta look at something real quick. Give me a minute. I'm gonna look at something. Today's the 6th. Oh, today's my dad's birthday. Holy shit. Woody. Okay, we got somebody. Somebody that's on death row that's having oral arguments today. Let's see, who is it? They got the deaths. Hold on. Who did they harm? Angel Gonzalez. Hold on. Who did you harm? Oh, shoot. I want to see who you harmed. Oh, he pled guilty. In 2016, hold on. Oh, oh, really? Jesus. Well, the wave waves are going to like that. Okay. So what did he do here? We're going to look. He did something within the prison. What did they do? Oh, he unalived somebody in a cell. So he killed somebody in the prison. Okay, whatever. I keep going from all different things, you guys. I'm sorry. That's just me. I go from one thing to another. What I really focused on yesterday is the case of that 7-year-old that BPS looked into. I cannot find David Cash Jr. anywhere. Anywhere. I cannot stand. Oh gosh, I know. Today's your nephew's birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah, my dad's 75 today. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Yeah, you know what? Somebody will put it on. Somebody will put it on the internet because Netflix is too outrageous in price to me. So I was at BPS's live last night. Unfortunately, I was going to research the subjects that he talked about, but I didn't. So it was kind of hard to follow, but I was there supporting him and his channel. One thing I can say about him, he's very, very kind to everybody. I like people like that. Okay. And I'm waiting for some records on Pino, just so you know. I'm working on getting all his DRs. However, I was waiting 3 months, finally got a response because I'm mad. I wasn't mad, I was frustrated. I said, hey, any updates? And he had so many that they told me to, they gave me the list and told me to pick. So I'm trying to get all of 2016, 2017. I'm going to get time frames. There's so much I'm waiting on. Body cam footage. Ugh, it's crazy. I have Netflix. Maybe we can stream on Rumble. Yes, he is very kind. Yes. Oh, my poor lip. Sorry. I'm on medicine. I don't know if you guys know it. Wait, I'm sure you do. Accutane. And let me tell you, it makes my lips so dry. And no matter the lip stuff and the doctor tell me to get, they're still dry and it pisses me off. Hold on a minute. All right. You know what my daughter did? My other daughter. Hey, my daughter, Kayla, by the way, she actually messaged me, you guys, because I like Mountain Dew, but I don't drink it like I used to. I'll take a couple sips here and there. Sorry. But they got a new Mountain Dew that's called Dirty something. And it's mixed, it's a clash between Mountain Dew and cream soda. And she told me it's icky. Also, they now make Mountain Dew gummies. Mountain Dew gummies, you guys. I love gummies. Hello, Melissa from the bushes. How you doing, girl? I see you've been good. Yeah, it's dirty Mountain Dew. That's what they say. But I guess it's gross. So yeah, I heard from my daughter. That was nice. And my one son, my oldest son, came here. Remember, he hurt my feelings because he's never treated me like that. And he came the other day with my grandson And he was very nice to me, and he hugged me like when he was a little boy, because he knows I'm going through some shit right now. And he shouldn't have done what he did to me. Yeah. You talk about dysfunction, we got it here in this household. Okay? What else do I want to talk about? Okay, let's talk about Alan a minute. I was going to come in his chat to support him and say something, but now he's talking itchy and raunchy again. He's talking itch. He's gonna get a strike again. It was so gross what he did. I'm like, oh my god. He's talking about Selena again. Selena. There is no Selena. Stop lying. Come on now. Okay. There's no Selena. That's right. Get him under control. Have you guys noticed that our gang is kind of like not here altogether? What's going on? Okay, let me see something here. There's a lot of shit going on the internet between people. It's crazy. These people that stay on cases, like the people on Sebastian Rogers' case, the Nancy Guthrie case, the Gypsy Rose case. I mean, come on, people. There ain't nothing new. I want to see what this little demon's talking about. Hold on a minute. I'm not going to show their page. Oh, they've been good for 24 hours. How about that, people? Is there anything you guys want to look at? Anything? Yeah, there's been a problem with that. However, it's strange. It's strange that I'm getting notifications on my other channel. So I don't know what the hell's going on. I get the notifications. Maybe I'm shadow banned. I don't freaking know. I think there's other channels that should be shadow banned. But they make money for YouTube, so there's that. I don't make hardly anything. Just so people know, it's like 4 cents for one view. Just so you know. Well, yeah, because you're subbed up to my other channels. That's why. And I do horizontal and vertical. So that's 2 for each channel. But yeah, at least you know what's going on. All right, I don't think there's anything else that I have to say right now. I just wanted to talk about this little baby girl, Gabrielle Hanshaw, as her killers being put to death, which he should be. Oh, I know. I told you guys yesterday. I don't know if you heard me. And YouTube Studio, it said that they were working on that. Yep. Sure did. Look in your YouTube studio. It'll tell you. Yepers. Yep. Hold on. I gotta take a drink. Yeah, I was just saying that out loud too, in case other people are listening and have the same problem. What the hell was that noise? That was strange. All right. I think I'm finished here, people. You didn't hear that? That was so strange. Sometimes I wonder. Okay, I can't think of anything I want to say about the unaliving of 5-month-old Gabrielle Hanshaw by the hands of Andrew Richard Lukehart. Baby's finally getting justice. God, I gotta. Never mind. I just gotta keep my mouth shut sometimes. All right, I'm gonna go. Yes, she does. For sure. Let me put her face up there before I go. There we go. You're welcome. I'll probably be back later because it's too cold. I cannot believe it. It is 35 degrees, okay? We go from 70 some degrees to 35, so I'm not doing nothing today anyways. Yeah. Love you too. Yeah. You have a good day. You go live or something. Come on, people. Let's get it together. Let's do things, okay? Let's go live and do things. Oh, come on. Anybody's panel. Anybody's. I keep forgetting to put the link in my chat, but when I do that, nobody comes. Nobody comes up. So it's like, okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with my madness. I really appreciate every one of you. Okay? Love you. Bye.